We begin logging into the newScale service catalog, and we are presented with the My Services homepage view of services for which this user, Carol, can log into. Carol here is interested in ordering a new server, so we're going to dig into a couple of categories here to see what her options are. Here she has a couple of different options by which she can order new servers. And let's say if she's not sure what she wants, but maybe she's been here before, so she can search for a database hosting wizard. Ordering the database hosting wizard, she's presented with a simple set of questions to help her derive at a more technical solution. Wizards are useful for users that may not be that technical but still need access to infrastructure services. So here Carol can answer a couple of different questions that she's likely to have access to and be able to answer. And so if she says no, maybe there's no compliance involved. She answers a couple of other questions here, and what we'll see is that she's presented with a solution for her that she can then order. This is helpful because it reduces the amount of analysis time up front in a request, often taking up valuable architect time. Now, these wizards can hold a number of different type of logic statements and intelligence in them. For example, if she were to select yes to this question, she may be faced with an option. And here she can decide whether or not she wants Oracle or SQL and go ahead and order that. Now, a different type of service request would be something more along the lines of infrastructure as a service. And so maybe Carol is a more technical user and she knows exactly what it is that she wants. And so here she can look for servers by hosting option. Carol's now faced with a grid and some detailed information that shows her what options are available, driving her towards dedicated, private cloud, or public cloud options. And she can see some more information that may be available to her to help her make her decision. Reviewing these options, Carol may decide that what she wants is a private cloud server. And this may be a virtualized environment hosted internally. It could be a VMware environment, for example, here. Drilling into this category, Carol's faced with a number of different options. And what she wants to look at here is the difference between custom or standard servers. And she's faced with yet more detailed information. So it's really peeling back the layers of detail to get to the solution that Carol actually needs. And so looking at the information here, she can see the difference between standard and custom. Now, the way this is outlined is that it still gives Carol the option to select a custom server if she'd like one, but it makes it look a little bit unappetizing, less appealing than a standard. So this is really a way to still give consumers the ability to have that custom box that they may desire, but encourage them and promote your standards. So if Carol orders a standard server, we'll see a detailed order form that she can fill out. Now, our order form is smart enough to know who Carol is and pull in her information. The order form could be a single page, or it could be a series of pages, or paginated, like in the wizard example. In this example, if Carol's a more technical user, she may have a lot of knowledge about the VMware environment, but maybe she's somebody that doesn't really need full administrative access to that VMware environment. So using a service catalog is one way to restrict her usage, but still give her the abilities that she needs. So here Carol can go ahead and select the data center that she needs in a limited list, and each of these options can be tailored to exactly what her role is and what her rights should be. We can even allow for additional logical groupings of templates that may not exist in the VMware environment itself. For instance, if I select Linux, I may be presented with a number of Linux templates. Template 2 may be medium, template 5 could be large, and if I select Windows, I'll have a different set of templates from which to choose from. Scrolling down, I have to answer some more information, which can be mandatory or optional fields. So in this example, Carol is going to order a database server. She's going to suggest a name. She can enter business justification. And I should also mention that these forms ship out of the box as part of a library of different services, and they can be easily customized and modified to add additional forms, make different forms optional or mandatory. as well as insert your own vocabulary so that it matches your company culture and your environment. So in this case, Carol would like to be the primary administrator for this box. So she's going to simply find herself in a list here. And Carol's going to select her colleague to be the backup. So we'll search for Trina. Now let's say this is for a project that's going to start later this month, and we need to start it on the 25th. So we're going to ask for the server to be ready by then. And we're only going to need it for a couple of months, so we'll pick an end date that's out here at the end of March. Now we don't think we're going to have any confidential data there, and we would like a preliminary snapshot, and we're going to say weekly, and we don't need anything like that. And we'll just add a little note here that says, I'll install the database. No problem. So we can go ahead and submit this order, and we can see here that this is a summary of our order. We have a requisition number, we have the initiator, we have the department that could be billed to in the case of chargeback, a number of different information here, including the duration that's expected, as well as some cost information if the service is designed to have that type of information. We can also see here that there's an authorization that's going to be required before the delivery process. So this is giving Carol all the information she needs to know what to expect and set the expectations up front about when she's going to get her server and the process it might have to go through. Now continuing on from this screen, we'll go back to the home page, and we'll see right here in the Easy Portal that Carol can easily keep track of all the requisitions that she's ordered. And you can see here that there's a requisition for a server that she ordered earlier today, and this is the one that we just ordered just a few seconds ago.